At the beginning of the year, the family who built our 1980s Greek home discovered our channel on YouTube and reached out to us.
We sat down for an incredible conversation with them about the house, the island, and all aspects of Greek life.
Last week, we explored how the villa got its name and discovered how the family found the land our house sits on.
This week, we're diving into the construction of the villa while finding out how offering to help with the washing up was met with a response they wasn't quite expecting. Our house, built in the 1980s, was truly ahead of its time, using sustainable materials like wood wool and a modular prefabricated frame. The building was designed to withstand the seismic activity common in this region.
It's clearly doing its job well. After 40 years and approximately 2,000 earthquakes of magnitude 4 or higher, the building shows no signs of cracking, even surviving a magnitude 6.8 earthquake that hit Zakynthos in October 2018. Let's hear more about how the house was constructed.
So that house came in sections. So on the outside is I don't know what when I was built, they used to call it wood wool.
All right.
It's not straw, but it's like shavings that's mixed with concrete, and you can saw through it quite easily. But it's about 2 inches, about 5 centimeters thick,
Right.
on the outside, and then they put, and because there's the wooden frame. Then on the outside there's the wood wool, and then on the outside it is a metal.
Like
Mesh.
Mm.
Yeah, and then they plaster over that. So when the earthquake comes, the house just goes like an aeroplane wing. If it didn't move, it would crack.
Yeah.
And so and as I say before, I think all three of our houses were built like that.
We're confident that Villa Sweet William will stand strong for decades to come. The original owners did an exceptional job maintaining the house and clearly knew what they were doing.
However, as is often the case, when you're new in town, some of the island's long-time residents felt compelled to offer their unsolicited advice.
It made me laugh. I really got the giggles, because when I think you were painting a wall at the front, and they'd put a little wall which wasn't there before, and then the fence. And Dennis or Dionysus come over and said,
doing it all right.
But when we were there putting up the fence or doing anything, I mean, I was a carpenter and I worked for the local council, and I did fencing, I did roofing, I did all sorts of stuff. And everybody and his dog would stop their car and say, "You're doing that wrong." Everybody, it doesn't matter who it was, whether it was a butcher or a baker. You're doing it wrong. It's not. You're not supposed to do it like that.
Obviously, such advice is always offered with the very best of intentions. The Greek people are truly wonderful, and we found they consistently go out of their way to lend a helping hand.
One of our neighbours, now retired, worked as a builder during Sweet William's construction. One day he noticed the family cutting bricks to build the shed and became curious about their method.
Another funny story, Chris, about those we call them breeze blocks.
Yeah.
Most of that shed was built between. I did the woodwork, and in between time, Darren and Bill were building the shed.
Building the walls.
And Bill made a little wooden frame that you put on top of the block, and then put a layer of cement on, so you got the same thickness all the way round. Bill was like that, and I still do the same. We invent things and make things. And anyway, so some of them blocks come, when you buy those blocks, you probably get about 20 that have got the 2 holes in, and you probably get 2 that come in half. So you've got half of one, when you come to the corner.
Yeah.
So anyway, he gave Darren a hacksaw, and Darren had to hacksaw through. It was partly sort of gone through, and he just had to hacksaw. But it took him about 10 or 15 minutes to hacksaw if you hadn't got enough. So anyway, Have you met Lambros from across the road?
Yeah, he comes over. Yeah.
Yeah. He's such a lovely guy.
Yeah, he's fun. He used to be a plasterer, didn't he, or something to do with construction? Yeah.
Yeah, he's a Gramser, and Lambros come across and said to Darren, "What you doing?" So Darren said, "I'm sawing this in half." So he got one. He got it because he's a big. I don't know. He was a big guy.
He is a big guy. Yeah.
Yeah. He held it in one hand, the brick, and he got a hammer and he just hit it and it fell in half. And Darren had spent weeks cutting these.
Kept him busy.
Pardon?
It kept him busy.
Kept him busy.
Sometimes the simple tried and tested methods work best, but until someone shows you how, you have no idea.
Much like our septic tank situation. Until this conversation, we weren't certain whether we had mains drainage or a cesspit that would soon need pumping. The family confirmed what Chris had suspected.
And do you realise that the cesspit is underneath that car park?
Yeah, I'm so glad you said that. You know what? We've had this conversation. I said to Joe, we can't be on mains drainage here. We're in the middle of nowhere. So that's because we didn't check when we first moved in. But I've thought about it several times. I thought it's got to be only a matter of time before we need to have the cesspit pumped. And I saw the manhole there and thought, but I didn't stick my nose in there and see. I thought that must be a cesspit.
I kept saying, no, surely it can't be under there. It can't be there. Chris, I'm sure it is.
Yeah, what it is, Chris, is how they did it, and it was very effective. They used those breeze blocks, but in between the joints, the vertical joints, they didn't put any cement. So it's like it's a soak away.
Oh, okay.
But that's cool. Fed all the trees, right?
Oh, so you're saying it doesn't need pumping? Do you not get it pumped?
Oh, in the all the years we were there, we never had it emptied.
Ah, right.
Okay. It just soaks back into the environment.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So what it does, that's why they tell you in Greece that they say it's because it's the size. When we used to go on holiday, don't put the toilet paper down the toilet because it get caught in the pipe. Well, they're standard 4-inch pipes, but what it is that paper gets caught in between those slots in the. I mean, it's about as big as that base that you can see, but it's probably, if I remember right, it's about 2 meters deep.
Right.
So all the liquid soaks out through the holes, and then the solid stuff gets it eats itself. And so I don't know whether you do put the toilet paper down, but
no, we don't. No.
We never did. It takes a bit of getting used to, doesn't it? Putting it in the bin at the side.
I said to Quick when we took the kids, I was like, don't put the toilet paper down the toilet because it's a job we're going to have to deal with otherwise.
Yeah, no, that's fascinating. I never knew that. When we've had this we have literally had that conversation several times now about the cesspit and where does the drain, where does it go? Drainage lead? So
no, not once. It never ever filled up, did it?
No, never.
So it seems the small pipework story was just a myth. But one thing that's absolutely true is the incredible hospitality of our neighbours and Greek people in general.
And tell you what we could never get over. You could turn up at a Greek's house and perhaps they were having a meal or something. There was always enough for somebody else. There was always enough to give you food.
To make you sit down and eat what they were eating.
Yeah, even if you'd just eaten,
I've had that. I have had that. I have said before, I've literally just had lunch. Come in, here, plate of this, plate of that, plate of this. It's like, whoa, no, I can't eat all that. No, have more.
Yeah.
This led to an amusing story about one of our neighbours urging caution against bringing our custom of men helping in the kitchen over to Greece.
We had a funny, when we went out there, before we moved out there, we went out about 86 or something like that, and we went out for Christmas. We spent Christmas out there, went via Athens, and Lambros and Lisa opposite invited us for Christmas dinner. But then they didn't. Christmas was nothing to them. Their big thing, of course, is Easter.
Yeah.
And we went over there, and she'd cooked a lovely meal. It wasn't a Christmas meal, but it was a lovely meal. And when we'd finished, Bill and I got up to go wash up. So Lambros says to us, "What you doing?" So we said, "We're going to help. We're going to wash up." "Don't bring that system here," he said. No, you sit down. Yeah, don't bring that system here.
Horrified.
Of course, this wasn't just a Greek thing. The tradition of men going out to earn the money while women managed the home was prevalent in many parts of the world, including in our home country.
Drop a comment below and let us know what it's like in the country you're from.
This all began to change when popular US TV shows Dallas and Dynasty arrived, initially showing traditional portrayals of women, but shifting as the years went on.
And back in the day when we were buying the house, the couple we were buying the land off of, we used to go, we was always invited there for a meal. And there was husband and wife, grandmother, and three children.
Yeah.
And Dora and Bill, Chris and me sat round this, and the wife she laid the table, she wouldn't have any help, she cooked everything, she served it up, and the guy, he sat there and he nodded and she just sat down. She'd served everybody. Wife had just sat down, and she looked up, and the husband nodded to her, and she got up, she went inside, she come out with a packet of cigarettes, lit the cigarette and put it in his mouth. Yeah, that's how it was then. And about half an hour later, it was getting a bit chilly, and he nodded at her again. She got up from eating her meal, walked round, and he got his jacket on the back of his chair, and she took the off the back of his chair and put it over his shoulders.
What?
Wow.
Oh, yeah, let's not even go there, Mike.
But you know what changed everything? Over the years, we see it change because they were watching Dallas
Dynasty or something.
Dallas and Dynasty, and they realised that women around the rest of the world were, doing what they wanted, and that changed a lot of things. That did.
It was Greek TV before that.
Yeah.
It's amazing how things change over the years. Next week we'll be exploring all of the little quirks of setting up a home and embracing local life in 1980s Greece. But for now, all that's left to say is thank you so much for watching. Bye.